It is the Grand Prix of Sonoma, presented by Toshiba Copiers and Fax on NBC from the very demanding, very tricky Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. Some 12 turns, 2.5 miles around this very, very tricky road course, facing the drivers and teams shortly.
Even though the Dodge Viper packs an 8-liter V10 under its bright red hood, the car was not really favored to win the pole in GTS because there's no long straightaway at Sears Point to use all of that muscle. Nobody told Olivier Beretta, a native of Monaco, just 29, that you got in this car and bingo, track record, you had never seen Sears Point in your life.
No, I never see Sears Point, and also the car is the first time for the team also, for the driver, me also. So, I mean, everything went well, and the Viper very fast.
Sitting on the GT pole, the brand new Porsche GT3 machine from Alex Job Racing, 23-year-old German driver Dirk Müller, the man who set pole. Now tell us about this car. How does it differ from the older cars in the field?
Okay, this is a brand new car from Porsche. It's called the 911 GT3R, and it's the first time being over here in the States. We ran this car in Le Mans first time, and the difference between the old RSR and the new model is, you know, the aerodynamic is much, much better. We are using a liquid-cooled engine for the first time, not a air-cooled engine, and the engine is a little bit stronger.
Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's race. 42 teams getting set to go to the green flag. On the pole, BMWs. J.J. Lato won Sebring in March, team with British vet Steve Soper. Outside, Team Raffinelli. Californian Eric Comas, team with Italian Mimo Scatarella. Starting third, the first of the Panoz Fords, David Brabham, son of legend Jack, Frenchman Eric Bernard. Fourth is the second Panoz, Georgia's Johnny O'Connell, team with Denmark's Jan Magnussen, winner of the most recent race at Mosport. Starting fifth, California's Bill Oberlin in the second factory BMW, team with Le Mans winner Joe Winkelhock of Germany. Here we go, down for the start of the Grand Prix of Sonoma.
BMW got a little bit of a start there, great, and you can see the Sciatarella's car is right up there in second place. I think the two Panoz is third and fourth. Yes, they are. BMW, wonderful start. He really judged that flag perfectly. Watch in the back here for contact. Alan McNeish going around the outside of somebody. This looks like you're on board an aircraft carrier. That actually is the view over the Panoz. These drivers sit so far back in a car that by a lot of conventional standards shouldn't win, but by gee, they showed the world at the Mosport race. Incredibly fast cars, big thundering Ford horsepower, and tremendous downforce off those black and orange machines. There we go right there. That is car number 2. That's the Panoz. Directly up ahead is one of the real exotic European cars. That is a V10. Yeah, you heard me right, a 10-cylinder Judd motor. This is a derivative from the Formula One engine. A great sound. If anything, they even outdo the scream of a Ferrari with that Judd motor. And the Panoz drivers are saying it puts the power down extremely well.
That is Johnny O'Connell and the Panoz you're watching, chasing the Team Raffinelli machine. Eric Comas starting that machine. The driver who qualifies the car in this form of racing has to start the race, or the car has to go to the back of the grid.
And Johnny O'Connell is somebody we have to watch today. We spoke to him a little bit earlier this morning, and he was saying that of all things, last night back at his room, he hurt his thumb trying to pick something up. That is something that can wear on you because the road shock that comes back to the steering wheel through the gear shift, tremendously strong. Over the course of a long-distance race, this could hurt.
Now let's look back at the other two classes in the race. Back to GTS, Viper Corvette, kind of the storyline there. Viper, the leading machine there. That is Olivier Beretta, the fastest qualifier in the GTS class, being closely pursued by his teammate. And then the Corvette, or he was being closely pursued by his teammate, Carl Wendlinger, in the other Viper. He's not in the shot anymore.
Now, we heard that the 92 car was originally running second place. This is why he no longer is in second. Watch at the back of the picture. And that's the Viper version of farming.
Agricultural racing here in the wine country. That is at the top of the hill, turn 7. Now let's look to the GT class, the stock prototype, stock production-based, I guess is the word I'm looking for, machines. And that is the lead car. We talked to the young man before the start of the race. That is Dirk Müller, a real rising star for Porsche as far as their drivers are concerned.
He is indeed. He is a very, very good young driver. Very nice to chat to, as we all saw earlier, and he is extremely smooth. He is driving this car as if he had 20 years experience, making it look easy, which it is not. This is very tough here.
There is the lead car in the GT class being overtaken by some of the faster cars. And this is the race for second place, going through some of the lower traffic.
gosh, and that is the problem with passing here. This is so tough. You can bet your boots that Mueller and everyone else around him in the slower Porsches would be watching their own line into the corner where they wanted to turn in. They would hardly have time to look in their mirror because they're on a 130-mile-an-hour corner at that point.
Now this is the team BMW. This is Bill Oberlin, who still kind of hangs back in, well, actually he's lost a spot. He's fallen back to 6th position as Butch Leitzinger's gotten around him.
Yeah, I think that Bill is really displaying a bit of a waiting game right now. Like, you watch him drive and see how smooth he is on the steering wheel. Here he is, the heaviest braking spot on the track. This is very tight, turning into the corner here. Now smooth application, and right behind him, the second Dyson car. That is James Weaver.
Wayne Taylor falling a lap down, or the Max Angelelli car rather, that was just overtaken by the leader Lato. Well, that's been exaggerated by a couple of problems that he had out on the course. Let's take a look back and see what happened.
Now there is the Ferrari version of a little off-course excursion. You can see he was able to keep the car on pavement, but watch now under hard braking. Look at this, look at the wheel. Tries to do that opposite lock as fast as he can. He just can't get it, and he stalled the car.
This is the second place running car, Team Raffanelli.
He right now is pulling ahead of that number 2 car, the Panoz, that actually had closed up almost on his back bumper. Well, they don't have bumpers, but almost on his tailpipe. And here is why the 2 car dropped by.
Running inside one of the Vipers, entering high speed turn 1.
Boy, that is the 91, the car that is leading GTS. You can see he got loose going into this 130-mile-an-hour turn 1.
So O'Connell falling back to 4th position off of his teammate's rear deck. Oh, there's one car up the top
Alan
of the hill.
McNeish
In the Porsche 911.
put the champion car around there. Alan is a tremendous driver. Here's an idea of what happened. Now look at the amount of traffic around him. Oh, and he got tapped.
Jack Baldwin to his inside, little contact there.
Is that one of Jack Baldwin's NASCAR
I was
moves?
going to say you expect that in the NASCAR race here at Sears Point, but not with these kind of cars.
Well, here is our first classic Le Mans pit stop. The first thing that happens is the driver has to click off the ignition. The engine's silent. J.J. Leto out of the car. In the car is Steve Sober. Now, the only thing you're allowed to do while fueling the car is change drivers. You cannot touch it. They did not take any tires. And by the way, down here, guys, they're a little short-handed in the BMW crew. They got 28 uniform Nomex people.
Well, one lap longer out on the racetrack for the Zero car, the Riley and Scott with its Formula One V10 style engine. A driver change, they're taking fuel, and the tyres are ready. The question is, are they going to use them? The Riley and Scott, possibly not as easy on its tyres as the BMW. They're going longer on the fuel, but that may not be enough. Well, there was a 10-second penalty. The Zero car was being held here by Chief Official Dick Martin. He is explaining now to the boss of the team, Gabriele Raffanelli, what the problem was. We could listen in on this, but it may get a little bit heated, folks. Guys, it's quite simple. The rules in a hot pit are very different from the rules in Europe, where you can stand in the pit lane ready for the car. And the American Le Mans Series rules are very clear. One man and one man only over the wall, waiting for the car to arrive. He's the man with the stop board to show you where the pit is. Gabriele Raffanelli's team had 2 men over before the car came to a halt, and that is a 10-second penalty.
And so that has dropped him from 2nd before the pit stops all the way back to 4th position after the shuffle under pit lane. Here's the leaderboard at the Grand Prix of Sonoma at Sears Point Raceway. It is Team BMW, who's basically been out in front for the entire race except for a pit stop. Steve Soper behind the wheel. The 2 Panoz machines running now 2nd and 4th. Eric Bernard and Jan Magnussen sandwiching Mimo Scattarella in the 3rd position. Now, the 4th place car of Magnussen, he's kind of been a story. He's had some troubles here that have dropped him back. He was up there racing for 2nd spot with his teammate. He's now fallen all the way back to 4th.
Now here is what happened. All of a sudden you've got a Ferrari sitting sideways in front of you, and not only staying sideways, but seemingly backing across your bow. You can't seem to get this red car to your way. Look on board. Where do you go? Well, try and turn around him. Just get your hand up, shake your fist at him, think, what are you doing? Trying to get in my way here.
Hello.
Got back on the track, no damage, but lost a lot of time because of it.
Falling back to 4th position, and he is, there you see the scoring there, up as high as 3rd, dropped to 6th with the spin, now has worked his way back up to 4th again. So that is the lead car in GTS, the Dodge Viper machine that started 1st in its class. Olivier Beretta started. David Donahue from Pennsylvania now behind the wheel.
Yeah, I had thought that my old friend Ron Fellows driving that Corvette was going to give the Viper team a real run today, but they have had a few problems today. This is a fairly new car, so you have to expect some teething problems.
Now here is the GT leader, the Alex Job racing machine on pit road. Let's get a report there.
Folks, this GT car has been staying out and staying out and staying out. They've already run a 1 hour 34-minute first stint in this 2-hour 45 race. There's no question in their minds that they could go the whole distance on just one fuel stop, whether we have a yellow period or not. But the unnerving part of it is for the 23-year-old behind the wheel. They said stay out until the fuel light doesn't just flicker, stay out until it stays on. Then let's hope there's enough in the tank left to get them back to the pits. Well, he's made it. Kurt Wagner from Los Angeles now behind the wheel as new tyres go on, and look how narrow those tyres are. A lot of you out there who have got street cars with more tyre than this. This car is now in the lead of the class, and with a massive fuel advantage, they're really looking very nicely set for a debut victory for this car in North America.
Now, that is the pace car in front of the field. Full course caution. Here's why.
Coming down out of this very, very fast carousel corner, watches it, gets onto the straight, 130 miles an hour, the car number 24 spinning sideways, and suddenly you're at full throttle trying desperately to take evasive action, nowhere to go, and all devil goes loose.
Oh,
slams the wall across the track. Look at the BMW. That was Alex Caffey riding that Olive Garden Ferrari to its destruction. Now here is on board right up front, and watch the hit. Sorry, not on board, I mean out in front of this car. You can see him slamming the barrier.
Big
Look at the BMW
ricochet.
take great evasive action.
Well, let's talk about the amazing performance of the BMW LMR. They have made their second stop. This time they got fuel naturally. This time, though, they got tires. They didn't on the first stop. And this time they put JJ Leto back in the car. Steve Soper is out. Leto will take it to the finish.
Well, the story in the GT class is very much set as it was before the yellow flag. They had only expected to stop the leading Porsche once, and they will not stop it again. The BMWs have been saved essentially by this yellow flag. There was a question that they may have needed a quick splash and dash in the closing few minutes, but now they feel that they won't.
Now, the caution flag and the shuffle in the field because of the pit stops has left us just a couple of cars basically contending for the win. As we look at the rundown, it is the BMW that has led most of the way on top. JJ Leto now back behind the wheel of the machine, with David Brabham second in the Panoz Ford. Now here's a car that's had some troubles in the last several moments. Just before we got the caution flag, see that left front fender there on the Raffinelli machine, Mimo Scattarella. He had a problem down the very fast turn number 10 section of the course.
He did. It looked like he cut down a tire. The tire exploded, just literally destroyed the left front fender, and that will seriously affect the downforce in his car. I don't think he will be able to challenge at all.
Green flag back in the air, and we are back racing at full speed.
Leto jumped on it as soon as he could, but look at the Panoz. He is using the power to try and get by these two Porsches as fast as possible and get clear. There he is. He made it by them both, so now there is 1 and 2 right there. That is the small separation. Brabham will really try and push hard to get up on the BMW's tail now. Scattarella has got to try and push. He knows he's got damaged goods there. Oberlin wants to be really careful going down here on the start when all the cars are bunched up. Doesn't want to take a chance of damaging.
Looking at the data in the upper left-hand corner, seeing the rundown of the field overall.
My,
Wow.
look at the traffic. Smoke off the back of the car. Almost ran into the back of that Porsche there. Look at Oberlin. He's being very cautious at this point. Good for you, Bill.
It is the number 20 machine of Butch Leitzinger of Pennsylvania. He is running in 6th. Right behind him, one of the privateer BMW teams, the Pedro Lamy machine.
Yes, Pedro Lamy, also a very, very fast driver from Europe.
Yeah, he is in 7th spot. And again, this all for position here. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th spots.
Tremendous bunching up at the end of the track. Look at the Corvette right there, trying to stay out of the way. Oberlin again being very cautious. Look at the smoke off that
the
car.
course. Scattarella off the course.
Yeah, he is losing all kinds of downforce off the front end. That is the left front tire locking up. The car is not able to stop as quickly as it was. Now watch him come into this corner. He's getting it as deep as possible. As the tires locked up, the car won't turn. Effectively blocks the other car out of the picture and goes onto the gravel.
Back at Sears Point Raceway, the American Le Mans Series Grand Prix of Sonoma, and the caution flag is out again. Well, that's not a very well parked car.
Here is what happened. Watch as he comes through. You can see something has gone badly wrong with the car. The rear end is locked up. He is spinning in his own oil at this point.
Lost an engine or something that has put a lot of oil out, because he has absolutely no control there, and that is definitely oil smoke. He's not doing all that with locked up tires.
Boy, how frightening for even the cars following, because they would have had zero visibility for a few moments.
The Mark Simo, Peter Cunningham, BMW M3.
Look at the trail of oil.
Right now, we've got a phenomenal battle for the win shaping up in the GT class between Porsche and BMW, one of the things we've talked about right since the very top of our broadcast. Well, after the Porsche got out on its one fuel stop strategy, the BMW kind of got a break by these couple of caution flags that have come out and taken the gas mileage out of the equation.
It couldn't have happened at a better time for spectators to see this, because this is perfect. Out Stuck's windshield, that car right there, right in front of him, that's his competition.
Green flag and white flag in the last lap of the Grand Prix of Sonoma. Lato is gone in the BMW. Can the Panoz catch him? And we look back now for the race in GT between the Porsche and the BMW. Hans Stuck trying to catch and get around Kurt Wagner.
Well, the BMW is staying well ahead of the Panoz right now. Now, let's just keep an eye back here. We're looking back further in the pack.
Here they come up the hill. There they are, working their way around. Did he get him?
I'm not sure.
He got him.
He did get him.
He got him on the restart. Hans Stuck got by Kurt Wagner on the restart. Now he's got to hold him off in all that traffic. Less than a lap to go.
Unbelievable. This Porsche had a huge lead. We thought they were just going to walk home to the finish, and Stuckey has pulled out some magic.
There's the car that started on the pole, has led all but a couple of laps in this event. He gave it up only for pit stops. J.J. Lato working his way through the final corners now, turn 11, the short sprint up through the gears to the start-finish line, and here comes your winner in the Grand Prix of Sonoma. It is BMW in victory lane. J.J. Lato scores the victory at Sonoma this afternoon.
It doesn't get any more impressive than that. That was a perfect performance, and now you're going to probably see the GTS Viper come through again, totally unchallenged.
Off the corner, they come down to the start-finish line. The checkered flag waiting for these cars. The Hans Stuck making the pass on the restart at the green and white flags, who will come away with the GT class victory.
And there's the GTS winner, also a perfect performance by Olivier Beretta.
And the GTS class victory to the Dodge Viper over the Corvette. Dominating performance for BMW. J.J. Lato and Steve Soper scoring the win. There you see the top 10. Let's go to the winner's circle and hear from the victorious team today. Here's Steve Evans.
Clapping his hands is J.J. Lato. The BMW was the ultimate driving machine today with the ultimate drivers.
Well, it was, it was a good combination of drivers and good combination of teamwork. I think that, when we came here on Friday, nobody had been here before from the BMW team, and we had a lot of things to learn, and the other cars, Panoz and Raffanelli cars, they were really quick, so we really had to catch up quick and work hard, but the whole team did a really great job, and I just got a good start. I qualified well, and it was just hard driving throughout the race.
Very close last single lap to win it. Well, you made your move.
I tell you, I was afraid it's not going to get green anymore, and I had only one spot because the Porsche was pretty fast down the straight. And then Milner was on the radio early and signaled green, and I took the chance, just dived into him. He went left, I went right, that was it. But we only could win because Boris did a fantastic first half of the race. He gave me the basis for a win, and we are very happy we won our second race together.
Well, I thought it was interesting that here was a track that favored handling, but next week at Portland, I'm looking forward to a totally different type of track. That is one that needs horsepower, it needs brakes.